Welcome, low ego action heroes. I'm Debbie Levitt from Delta CX, a full service CX and UX agency. And I recently saw an article that was claiming to give you the 5 differences between CX, customer experience, and UX, user experience. Now, again, these are terms that have so many different definitions right now, and we do need to clean these up and we do need to standardize them. But I think that some of these definitions are not moving us forward. They are not helping to get us respect or understanding. And in that case, I would find these definitions to be negatives, because if they're not going to help the profession and move it forward, then it's probably going to be holding us back. So let me read you some of the things this article said, and I'll give you my reactions to them. So number 1 difference between CX and UX. CXers tend to come from a marketing background, while UXers come from a variety of backgrounds like technical, design, or psychology. Just not true. Again, since CX and UX are defined by some people as the same thing, like me, I define them as nearly identical, and there are other people who are defining these as nearly identical things, it doesn't really make sense to start drawing lines between them when we should be bringing them together. The customer experience and the user experience shouldn't be completely different things. They really should be the same thing. So you can work in a CX or have a CX title and have really any background. As long as you know what you're doing, you can get that job. Second difference this article claimed, CXers mainly focus on boosting revenue by improving customer service, while UX focuses on product usability. Again, I see myself as a CX strategist and architect, so it wouldn't make sense to say that I'm only focused on boosting revenue by improving customer service. There are some people who define CX as only related to customer service and customer support, the people who are helping our customers who are struggling. Now, of course, I would say with better customer experiences, we wouldn't need so much customer support. So these are all ultimately related. But no, I don't see a good reason to draw a line there. That doesn't make sense. And really, everyone should care about usability, even the customer service and support team. If we had better usability, they would get fewer calls and tickets. So we should all be in that one together. Number 3. CX looks at the whole experience, including all channels of the brand, whereas UX is more specific, tending to focus on a particular app or website. That is mostly true. Based on the current definitions of CX and UX is typically a subset of CX. CX is the whole brand, the whole experience, your stores, your hotels, your websites, your apps, every place. I like to say everywhere that anything a customer can touch or that can touch the customer is CX. So that goes beyond digital, whereas many people think that UX is just digital. Now, Don Norman's original definition of UX, because he coined the term in the early 90s, was the everything, what we now call CX. So UX got redefined over the years, and people think it means just digital. I believe that instead of trying to redefine UX, we should just use CX, because people seem to understand that a little bit better. Here is another thing this person wrote in their article. CX is traditionally a term used more in service-related industries, such as hospitality or retail, where they would implement ideas such as service mapping and customer loyalty schemes, whereas UX is often referring to digital products. Again, in all of my work that was called UX, I tried to care about all these other things. I tried to care about the services we were providing, but I often wasn't allowed to because of siloing and divisions of work roles. And finally, this person says the difference is number 5, CX tends to survey large amounts of people to see what they think of a product or service, whereas UX places more emphasis on getting to know smaller groups of people really well. Again, I think under no circumstances should we rely so much on surveys, whether that's CX or UX running surveys or marketing running surveys or anybody. I think that that is often a mistake because surveys are too often badly written and badly interpreted. See previous podcasts on surveys. So all in all, please remember that we can write all the articles we like about the difference between A and B and what's UX and UI and what's CX and UX. The question is, was this meaningful, actionable, or helpful? If this article is not meaningful, actionable, or helpful, then what's the point? You don't have to like it. You don't have to share it. So I'm not sure what the purpose of that is, but that at least gives you a little bit more of an angle on how I tend to see some of these definitions and where I don't, in case that helps. So thanks for hanging out. Please subscribe here on the YouTube channel, empathize with the like button, and help us out in the YouTube algorithm. You can join our Slack workspace, which is totally free, and we do have an optional tip jar. Thanks, and see you in the next video.